Hare Krishna. Sorry, I'm just setting up the laptop and recordings. So Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Appreciate it. So without delay, we will start with our Bhagavatam overview. So let's do the invocation first. So you can do the invocation with me together, because in Zoom it is not going to work well. So you can just do the invocation with me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashta Prayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtuki. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna. So I'm sharing the screen now. That's the screen there. Okay, so today we are doing the third chapter of first canto. The chapter is entitled Krishna is the source of all incarnations. So we've been doing overviews of each chapter. So today what I plan to do is we will do section wise. One devotee will read one section, and then we will discuss that section and then move on to next section. There is another devotee. That way we can actually take advantage of that reading and get more out of it. So I would like to take the blessings of all the assembled devotees. So before we begin this class, so I would like to ask devotees, Meena Mataji, did you read it out last time?
Yes.
Yes. So someone who had not done it, they can do this. So let me see who else is there. Anuradha Mataji, you can read the first 5.
Okay, Prabhuji. Text 1. Sutta said, in the beginning of the creation, the Lord first expanded himself in the universal form of the Purusha, incarnation, and manifested all the ingredients for the material creation. And thus, at first, there was the creation of the 16 principles of material action. This was for the purpose of creating the material universes. Text 2. A part of the Purusha lies down within the water of the universe. From the navel lake of his body sprouts a lotus stem. And from the lotus flower atop this stem, Brahma, the master of all engineers in the universe, becomes manifest. Text 3. It is believed that all the universal planetary systems are situated on the extensive body of the Purusha, but he has nothing to do with the created material ingredients. His body is eternally in spiritual existence par excellence. Text 4. The devotees with their perfect eyes see the transcendental form of the Purusha, who has thousands of legs, thighs, arms, and faces, all extraordinary. In that body, there are thousands of heads, ears, eyes, and noses. They are decorated with thousands of helmets and glowing earrings and are adorned with garlands. Text 5. This form, the second manifestation of the Purusha, is the source and indestructible seed of multifarious incarnations within the universe. From the particles and portions of this form, different living entities like demigods, men, and others are created.
Thank you very much. So, Hare Krishna, everyone. So there are some more devotees have joined, so welcome everyone. Ravi Kiran Mataji also joined first time. There are other devotees as well. So we know that the sages of Naimisharanya, the sages headed by Shaunaka, asked 6 questions to Sutta Goswami. And out of these 6 questions, 4 questions were answered in chapter 2, and the remaining 2 questions are answered in chapter 3, in this particular chapter. So just to summarize the previous 2 chapters, that in first chapter, the sages, basically questions by the sages. So they had faith in holy name, they had faith in the association of pure devotees. They were very eager to hear. They had full conviction in the process of hearing Lord Sri Krishna's message. And they posed number of inquiries to Sutta Goswami. They were eager to learn from the seniors, and their questions were not just for themselves but welfare of whole humankind. And the first question was, what is the ultimate good for people in general? Sutta Goswami answers that in the 2nd chapter, in verse 6, where he says that the bhakti, devotion unto the Supreme Lord, when it is performed uninterrupted and unmotivated, in that state, one will be fully satisfied. And it is also the essence of all the scriptures. That is the 2nd question. What is the essence of all scripture? Again, the devotion unto the Supreme Lord is the essence of all the scriptures. And who should we perform this devotion to? Lord Sri Krishna. He is the ultimate goal. So, and the 3rd question was that what is tell me about Lord's incarnations in connection with this material creation. Sutta Goswami mentioned briefly that the Lord, Purusha incarnations, he mentioned 3 Purusha incarnations. We will go through them as well now. But Lord creates, Lord expands and then creates this material universe and enter into this material universe and, maintains it. So that is to answer to the 3rd question. And the 4th question was that for first Krishna appeared in the womb of Devaki. The answer was to reclaim the conditioned soul, and especially those who are devotees of the Lord. He is coming here to reclaim the devotees. He performs various activities and reclaims it. So that was discussed in the second chapter, and the summary of the second chapter is really, I've been meditating. What is the summary? The summary is Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Yeah. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya means that is the summary. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So there are two types of Bhagavats: book Bhagavatam, Parsani Bhagavatam. So we can get benefit by serving one of them, and two would be even better. Bhagavat means pure devotee, person Bhagavat. Book Bhagavatam is Srimad Bhagavatam. So just by doing this Bhagavad Sevaya, actually, if as I mentioned, if I want to summarize the entire second chapter, I would call it as Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya. So that means regularly serve the Bhagavatam. Two types of Bhagavatam: person Bhagavatam, book Bhagavatam, and thereby by serving these two personalities, book Bhagavatam and person Bhagavatam, we will achieve the ultimate goal, that is pure love of Krishna. That is the chapter summary of second chapter. Third chapter summary is very simple. Krishna is the source of all incarnations and is not different from Bhagavatam. We will talk about that in a minute. So the first 5 verses here, again, Sutta Goswami kind of explains various Purusha incarnations. This is in connection with question 3. So if I remember well, question 3, I beg your pardon, question 4. So question 4, it tell us the acts of the Lord performs in relationship to creating the material world. So again, here in the first 5 verses, he explained that. So the first 5 verses says that initially he says that Bhagavan has incarnated. Bhagavan has incarnated as Purusha. And there is first Purusha. And this first Purusha, he lies down in a ocean called Karana ocean, a spiritual water. And he glances at Mahat Tattva. Mahat Tattva is like a cloud like a substance in the spiritual sky. And basically this Karnodaka Sai Vishnu, the first Purusha, who is an expansion of Bhagavan, who lies in the Karana ocean, just glances at this the unmanifested state of material nature, which is called Mahat Tattva. So when he glances at the material nature, what happens was that the material creation takes place. And it is said that from his skin holes, the material universes comes out. So the first Purusha, Karnodaka Sai Vishnu, he expands into second Purusha, who is known as Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. And so with his perspiration, he fills the universe 50% off, fills the universe, and he lies down from his navel lake. A lotus comes out, and on top of the lotus, Lord Brahma is there. Within that stem, all the planetary systems are there. So this is the creation. Prabhupada says that it doesn't just happen. People think that, atheists think that there is no creator. Nothing is happening, isn't it? Without creator, when there is, I used to give a little example, when a paper rose as a creator, but does the real rose, what about the real rose? People think real rose came out of a blue. Paper rose as a creator. So Prabhupada gives that a detailed explanation. This is only a mere summary, extremely short summary. I humbly request the devotees to go and read the purports. There is so much message we can take from these purports. So the second Purusha is called Garbhodak Sai Vishnu. From Garbhodak Sai Vishnu, there is third Purusha comes, who is known as Karnodak Sai Vishnu. And so he enters into every single living entity. And he resides as super soul in every living entity. Also, he enters into each and every atom of this material world. And whatever the incarnations that come through, they come through the via medium of Karnodak Sai Vishnu. So that is the summary. And also Sutta Goswami mentions in verse 5, I guess, let me see. Yeah, verse 4. So verse 4, Sutta Goswami says that the devotees with their perfect eyes see the transcendental form of the Purusha, who has thousands of legs, thighs, arms, and faces, all extraordinary. So basically, Prabhupada explains when we are in when a devotee perfects his life with devotion, he can see the Lord. He quotes the verse from Brahma Samhita that only by bhakti one can see the Lord as he is. And as I mentioned, all the incarnations they come via medium of Kshirodak Sai Vishnu, third Purusha. So having said that, now Sutta Goswami answers the the fifth question, and that is that explain the multifarious incarnations or the Leela Avataras of the Lord Sri Krishna. So they are described there are 22 incarnations of the Lord described here. So can I possibly ask someone else to do that today? Who else would like to do? So
Sorry,
Prabhu, I'll do it.
Haripol?
did you say all the incarnations in the universe come from second or third Purusha? Which one?
It's from third Purusha, but Prabhupada actually it says that is second Purusha is the fountainhead. Basically, so from second Purusha, third Purusha comes. Yes. So can I ask?
Prabhu,
Dakshai
I
Vishnu.
can do it, Prabhu.
I'm confused because you've mentioned Karno Dakshai Vishnu as the third Purusha, right?
No. The first Purusha is Karnodaka Vishnu.
Karunadaka, yeah.
Second is Garbhodaka, and third is Kshirodaka. Kshira means the milk ocean, who resides in a milk ocean within this universe. And yeah, Karana means that's a causal ocean who lies down in the Karana ocean.
Thank you, Prabhu. Sorry.
Okay, so we will have probably little time to have any comments or any questions. So can I now ask someone else? Maybe Kamalangi. Sorry, who is that?
Philip Prabhu.
You want to read? Okay.
Shall I read the first 5? Yeah, the 5 translations. Yeah, from text 6. First of all,
just 1 second. Let me share the screen. Okay.
Okay, so text 6. First of all, in the beginning of creation, there were 4 unmarried sons of Rama, the Kumaras, who, being situated in a vow of celibacy, underwent severe austerities for realization of the absolute truth.
Yeah, please go on.
Text 6. The supreme enjoyer.
Yeah, text 7.
Text 7. The supreme enjoyer of all sacrifices accepted the incarnation of a boar, the second incarnation, and for the welfare of the earth, he lifted the earth from the nether region of the universe. Text 8. In the millennium of the rishis, the personality of Godhead accepted the third empowered incarnation in the form of Devarishi Narada, who is a great sage amongst the demigods. He collected expositions of the Vedas which deal with devotional service and which inspire non-fruitful actions. Text 9. In the fourth incarnation, the Lord became Nara and Narayan, the twin sons of the wife of King Dharma. Thus he undertook severe and explanatory penances to control the senses. Text 10. The fifth incarnation, named Lord Kapila, is foremost amongst perfected beings. He gave an exposition of the creative elements and metaphysics to Asuri Brahman, for in course of time this knowledge had been lost. Text 11, let's do 11.
Yes, please carry on.
Okay. In the sixth incarnation of the Purusha was the son of the sage Arti. He was born from the womb of Anusa, Anasuya, who prayed for an incarnation. He spoke the subject of transcendence to Alarka, Prahlad, and others. Yadu Hihatye. Ihasya. Text 12. The seventh incarnation was Yagna, the son of
Prajapati
Ruchi, and his wife Akuti. He controlled the period during the change of these Sayabhuva Manu and was assisted by demigods such as his son Yama. Text 13. The eighth incarnation was King Rishabha, son of King Nabi, and his wife Meru Devi. In this incarnation, the Lord showered this path of perfection, which is followed by those who have fully controlled their senses and who are honored by all orders of life. Text 14. O Brahmanas, in the ninth incarnation, the Lord prayed for by the sages, accepted the body of King Paritru, who cultivated the land to yield various produces, and for that reason the earth was beautiful and attractive. Text 15. When there was a complete inundation after the period of the Chakshura Manu, and the whole world was deep within water, the Lord accepted the form of a fish and protected Vasyavasta Manu, keeping him on a boat. Text 16. The 11th incarnation of the Lord took the form of a tortoise, whose shell served as a pivot for the
Mandarachala
hill, which was being used as a churning rod by the theists and atheists of the universe. Text 17. In the 12th incarnation, the Lord appeared as Dantavantri, and in the 13th he allured the atheists by the charming beauty of a woman and gave nectar to the demigods to drink. 19th.
No, 18th.
The 18th, yeah, 18th. In the 14th incarnation, the Lord appeared as Nishima and bifurcated the strong body of the atheist Hiranyakashipu with his nails, just as a carpenter pierces cane. Text 19. In the 15th incarnation, the Lord assumed the form of a dwarf Brahmana, and visited the arena of sacrifice arranged by Maharaj Bali. Although at heart he was willing to regain the kingdom of the third planetary system, he simply asked for a donation of 3 steps of land. The 20th, in the 16th incarnation of Godhead, the Lord, as Brugapati, annihilated the administrative class Kshatriyas 21 times, being angry with them because of their rebellious against the Brahmanas, the intelligent class. Text 21. Thereafter, in the 17th incarnation of Godhead, Sri Vasudeva appeared in the womb of Satyavati through Parasara Muni, and he divided the 1 Vedas into several branches and sub-branches, seeing that the people in general were less intelligent. Text 22. In the 18th incarnation, the Lord appeared as King Rama in order to perform some pleasing work for the demigods. He exhibited superhuman powers by controlling the Indian Ocean and then killing the atheistic King Ravana, who was on the other side of the sea. 23. In the 19th and 20th incarnation, the Lord adventured himself as Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna in the family of Vrishi, the Yadu dynasty, and by so doing, he removed the burden of the world. 24.
Yeah.
Then in the beginning of Kali Yoga, the Lord will appear as Lord Buddha and the son of Anjana in the province of Gaya, just for the purpose of deluding those who are envious of the faithful feast. Text 25. Thereafter, at the conjunction of 2 yogas, the Lord of the creation will take his birth as the Kalki incarnation and become the son of Vishnu Yasa. At this time, the rulers of the earth will have generated into plunderers. Okay, text 26. O Brahmana, the incarnations of the Lord are innumerable, and rivullets flow from inexhaustible sources of water.
Next one as well, please.
Text 27. The rishis, Manus, demigods, and descendants of Manu who are especially powerful are planetary portions or portions of the planetary portions of the Lord. Plenary portions of the Lord. This also includes the Prajapatis.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Sorry.
So here, Hare Krishna, no problem. Thank you very much for that. So here, Sutta Goswami tried to answer the 5th question regarding various multifarious incarnations of Lord Shri Krishna, and he names only 22 of them. After describing 22, if you look at the verse 26, where he says that Avataraya Sankheya Hare Satvanide Dvija Yata Vidasinaha Kulya Sarasahasyu Sahasrasaha. So, O Brahmanas, the incarnation of the Lord are innumerable, like rivulets flowing from inexhaustible source of water. So, there are innumerable incarnations of the Lord. He only gave just 22, and that too just it's like content. All the pastimes, the activities of various incarnations are given in the next cantos, in various cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. We know that Varahadev pastime was described in the 3rd canto, and Narsimhadev pastime was described is described in the 7th canto. Lord Ramchandra in the 9th canto. So like that, various, and Krishna, he mentioned Krishna, and that is in the 10th canto. Various incarnations. So the point here is that Lord Hari is the source of unlimited incarnations, and he gives example that when a big water flows, a huge water body flows, there are small rivulets, innumerable rivulets. We can't even count them. So in the purport, there is interesting point. I can just read it out for you. So here, Prabhupada quotes from Prahlad Maharaj's teachings, I think. My Lord, see here, Srila Prahlad Maharaj said in his prayer, my Lord, you manifest as many incarnations as their species of life, namely the aquatics, the vegetables, the reptiles, the birds, the beasts, the men, the demigod, etc., just for the maintenance of the faithful and the annihilation of unfaithful. So you advent yourself in this way accordance with the necessity of the different yugas. In Kali Yuga, you have incarnated Gobra as a devotee. So once Bhakti Purushottam Swami was mentioning that Lord appeared as even a mosquito, something like that, small fly. So Prahlad Maharaj point says that he appears in every species. We know that from our scriptures that 8,400,000 subspecies of life exists. So he remains same, yet he exists, he remains same. I used to give this example to the children. So sometimes I used to take a picture and then send it to them. So see, I have my picture, I've shared it with you. I can share it to 1 million people and I still have my own picture. Yeah, because it's a soft version, it is subtle. The subtle can be shared with as many people as possible and still you have your own copy. So Lord can expand unlimitedly and remain same. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. We know that. So that's one point. And in the 24th verse, where it is said that a future tense was used, like Lord will appear as Buddha. That is a future tense. Bhavishyati, there is a word. So we know that that was true. That came true. Buddha appeared. And in the 25th verse, Sutta Goswami says that at the end of Kali Yuga, Lord will appear as Kalki incarnation, and he gives the father's name, Vishnu Yasha. And he also mentions that there is a village called Shambhala. In that village, Lord will appear as Kalki, and riding the horse and taking the sword, he will annihilate all the miscreant kings. And then from that, from his body, there is a nice aroma comes out, and from that just aroma, so he creates the Satya Yuga, next Yuga. Each incarnation, Prabhupada mentions clearly, each incarnation has a purpose. Every incarnation has a purpose. There are different types of incarnations. I don't have time to go through, but there is quite a lot of information in Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained this to Sanatana Goswami. So if you would like to have more information about various incarnations, different types, so there are Yuga Avataras, there are Guna Avataras, there are Leela Avataras, there are Purusha Avataras. So like that, there were Manvantara Avataras, Shaktyavesh Avataras. Sorry, these are slightly different terminology. But if you would like more information, I would request you to refer to Chaitanya Charitamrita, where a detailed description is given. So maybe an exercise, you can go and sit, make a table like, incarnation and the purpose. Incarnation, purpose, what we can learn. Say Rama came to teach moral principle, Matya Shikshana, to give nice teachings to human beings. Like that, every incarnation. So Narada's purpose was to collect all the bhakti related points from various scriptures and present to the humankind. So like that, every incarnation has got a purpose. So you can do that exercise, incarnation and purpose. So that is about 20, yes, we finished 27 now. And then could I ask someone to read the 28 and 29, only 2 verses? Yes, Kamalangi Mata, you want to read? So let me see. Okay. I'll share the screen again. 1 second. Share the screen. Yes, only 2 verses. This section is 28 and 29. Are you reading, Kamalangi Mataji?
Shall I read?
Yes, please.
Text 27. All the
28.
Oh, sorry. All of the above mentioned incarnation are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. But Lord Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. All of them appear on planets whenever there is a disturbance created by the atheist. The Lord incarnates to protect the thieves.
29 as well.
Text 29. Whoever carefully recites the mysterious appearance of the Lord with devotion in the morning and in the evening gets relief from all the miseries of life.
Okay, thank you very much. So this section is very important. So, this is verse 28 is the key verse of Srimad Bhagavatam according to Srila Jiva Goswami, one of our acharyas, the famous verse. So when Suta Goswami was mentioning various incarnations, he names Krishna and Balaram to be one of them. So I think, yes, in the 19th and 20th, if I remember well, let's see where he mentioned that. Yes, this one. In the 19th and the 20th incarnation, the Lord advented himself as Lord Balram, Lord Krishna in the family of Vishnu. So Suta Goswami counted Lord Krishna and Balram to be one of the incarnations. They are coming from Bhagwan. We said that Bhagwan, expands. That is the word. Bhagwan is the word used in text 1. From him, all the incarnation comes, of course, via Kshirodaksha Vishnu. So here, this is a very important verse. And then now he says, this is a very important, and let me Everyone, I humbly request, please try to learn the Sanskrit. If you are unable to learn the Sanskrit, at least learn the English. This is a very famous verse. I'll recite. Etescham shakalaha pumsaha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mrudayanti Yuge Yuge. So he is now separating Krishna from all other incarnations. So he listed Krishna is one of the incarnations, but here he says, Yetesh chamsha kalaha pumsam. All the above mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions or the portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. But Lord Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan, is the Lord. Lord Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Prabhupada quoted this phrase many times in his own books and his lectures, that all the incarnations are the portions of the plenary portions. Whereas tu means but. So Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan, is the original personality of Godhead, from whom all these Purusha incarnations, all other incarnations, they come. But Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. And why do all the incarnations come? Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mrudayanti Yuge Yuge. Mrudayanti means to offer protection. Mrudayanti means to give protection. Yuge Yuge, in different yugas. So Indrari Vyakulam Lokam means when the enemies of Indra, King Indra. So Prabhupada translated it as atheists. When the atheists cause disturbance in the society, in this world, and that time all these incarnations will appear. But Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan, is the original personality of Godhead. So let me read out something from the purport. So someone can read this paragraph according to Srila Goswami.
Prabhuji, shall I read?
Please.
According to Srila Jiva Goswami's statement, in accordance with authoritative sources, Lord Krishna is the source of all other incarnations. It is not that the Lord Krishna has any source of incarnation. All the symptoms of the supreme truth in full are present in the person of Lord Sri Krishna. And in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord emphatically declares that there is no truth greater than or equal to himself. In this stanza, the word Swayam is particularly mentioned to confirm that Lord Krishna has no other source than himself. Although in other places the incarnations are described as Bhagwan because of their specific functions, nowhere are they declared to be the supreme personality. In this stanza, the word Swayam signifies the supremacy as the Samam Bonam.
Yeah, thank you very much. So you can go and reread that in the Bhagavad Gita also. There are a couple of places in verse 7 of 7th chapter, BG 7:7, where Krishna says that Mattha Parataram Nanyat Kinchit Yasti Dhananjaya. There is no truth superior to me. So Krishna is telling that I am the ultimate. And in the 10th chapter, verse 10:8, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo, Mattha Sarvam Pravartate. Everything comes from me, both material and spiritual. I am the source of everything. And sometimes you see this word Bhagavan is used. Sometimes Narada, Bhagavan that person, Bhagavan Manu, because they have potential, and that's why they use Bhagavan. But Swayam Bhagavan, Krishna is this original personality of Godhead. So we have to move, unfortunately.
Sorry, Prabhu, can I ask you something?
Just 1 second, Mataji. Yes.
Okay, now this, I don't understand the word plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. What does that mean?
What is that means? See, the expansions of expansion. Plenary portion means it is amsha. In Sanskrit, it is called amsha. Means it is a potency. So there are a little potency of Krishna if you really want to understand. Yes. So potency or part of the potency of Krishna.
Okay, so which means the original and part of the original, like probably an example like Krishna Balram.
Yes.
So would that apply here?
Krishna, so the second expansion is Balram. Krishna's second expansion is Balram. Balram comes from Krishna. So, but the other incarnations, small like, Narad or Kumaras, they are little potency, like, Shakti-avesh avataras, we call it. So they are little
They have
potency.
that much potency or that much qualities, like I think further it's described also. They have just that much qualities of the Lord. Is
Yes.
that what you think? Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So yes, maybe we can talk a little later. We don't have much time, but just to give you the understanding that they are not full, like, okay, just to give you a little more explanation, that say Krishna is got 100% qualities. And
Right.
Prabhupada says that Brahma has got 78 spiritual qualities.
Yeah.
So that's it, 78, he can't go beyond 78%. And even Narayana, if I remember well, I can't remember on top of my head, something like 94, 95%.
Yes, it's then one of the last.
Like, and these mathematics, we can't do this, but these are the mathematic calculation presented by our acharyas.
Yeah.
So you can find a little more. So the purpose of all reading of this is to, ignite that kind of fire, for all of us to go and read more and learn more about it. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, can I ask one question? Do you have time, Prabhuji?
Yes, carry on, Mataji. Yes,
in
might
verse
have to go
29,
little.
Prabhuji, in
What's
verse
that?
29, it
Sure.
says, one who recites the mysterious appearances of the Lord. What
Yes.
are the mysterious appearances, Prabhuji?
Mysterious appearance means our appearance is like our appearance is because we are based on our karma, we take appearance and disappearance. But mysterious means Lord comes out of his own sweet will. That is mysterious. He comes for a purpose. And he chooses to come. It's not like that, I chose to appear in my mother's womb. I had no option to appear. I would have chosen probably someone else, but anyway, now I've come to this Prabhupada's shelter. I'm okay now, but I had no chance. But Krishna chooses his parents. Krishna has a purpose, mysterious. They are divine. They are not like material forms. So that is the meaning of mysterious. Does it answer your question, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Of course, you can read the purport and it will, elaborate more. Thank you. So the problem is that with time here. Okay, let's read. Yeah, so as Mataji mentioned that in verse 29, where it is said that, we will get relief from miseries, and Prabhupada links this to chapter 4, Bhagavad Gita, verse 9, where he says, Janma karma chame divyam yevam yo veti tattvaha tyakva deham punarjanma iti mameti soharjuna. Or the appearance and activities of the Lord are spiritual, divine. Just by knowing them in truth, we will just go back to Godhead. That is the power. So Bhagavatam fulfills that criteria. So now I'll request someone else to do a reading from 30 to 39. Who is reading?
Can I read, my Prabhuji?
Yes.
The conception of the Virat universal form of the Lord as appearing in the material world is imaginary. It is to enable the less intelligent and neophytes to adjust to the idea of the Lord's having form. But factually, the Lord has no material form. Clouds and dust are carried by the air, but less intelligent persons say that the sky is cloudy and the air is dirty. Similarly, they also implant material bodily conceptions of the spirit self. 32. Beyond this gross conception of form is another subtle conception of form which is without formal shape and is unseen, unheard, and unmanifest. The living being has his form beyond this subtlety, subtlety,
Fertility.
subtlety, otherwise he could not have repeated births. 33. Whenever a person experiences by self-realization that both the gross and subtle bodies have nothing to do with the pure self, at that time he sees himself as well as the Lord. 34. If the illusory energy subsides and the living entity becomes fully enriched with knowledge by the grace of the Lord, then he becomes at once enlightened with self-realization and thus becomes situated in his own glory. In his own glory. 35. Thus learned men describe the births and activities of the unborn in the inactive, which is undiscoverable even in the Vedic literatures. He is the Lord of the heart. 36. The Lord whose activities are always spotless is the master of the six senses and is fully omnipotent with six opulences. He creates the manifested universes, maintains them, and annihilates them without being in the least affected. He is within every living being and is always independent. 37. The foolish with a poor fund of knowledge cannot know the transcendental nature of the forms, names, and activities of the Lord, who is playing like an actor in a drama, nor can they express such things neither in their speculations nor in their words. 38. Only those who render unserved, uninterrupted, favorable service unto the lotus feet of the Lord, Krishna, who carries the wheel of the chariot in his hand, can know the creator of the universe in his full glory, power, and transcendence. 39. Only by making such enquiries in this world can one be successful and perfectly cognizant. For such enquiries invoke transcendental ecstatic love unto the personality of Godhead, who is the proprietor of all the universes and guarantees 10% immunity from and dreadful reputation of birth and death.
Okay.
40. 40.
Thank you. No, that's it. That's
Okay.
it. Thank
Hare.
you. So we are running out of time, but I will just give a very quick summary here. So in this in verse 30, Sutta Goswami mentioned that there is a universal form mentioned, Virat Rupa, or universal form, and he says that this is only imaginary form, and it is not listed in one of the incarnations of the Lord. This is this is to help neophyte people to understand, where they compare mountains to be bones of the Lord and the trees to be heirs of the Lord. Sun and moon are compared to the eyes of the Lord, and rivers are veins of the Lord. And various planets, exist in the various bodily, body of the Lord. But this is, Sutta Goswami says that this is to help a neophyte person. And the one of the important verse, how do we understand the glory of the Lord? This is a famous verse. I'll just recite, and if you can also make a note of it. Save dadatu padavim parasya duranta viryasya ratanga pane yo mayaya santataya nuvrutya bhajeta tatpada saro jagandham. How do we fully know the glory of unlimited personality, Lord Sri Krishna? there are three principles given here. Amayaya means unreserved, without any reservation. And santataya means without any gap, any interruption. No reservation, no interruption. And what else? Anuvritya, favorably. Bhajeta, if we serve the Lord, render service without reservation, without interruption, and favorably, then only we will be able to understand the unlimited glory of Lord Sri Krishna, who is known as Rathangapani, holder of the wheel of the chariot. So the next session from 40 till the end 44. So this section describes the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. So maybe someone else can read, please.
Shall I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, thank you.
Oh, somebody else answered. Do they want to read?
Yeah, please carry on, Mataji. We don't have time, please.
Okay, text 40. Translation. This Srimad Bhagavatam is a literary incarnation of God, and it is compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people, and it is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Text 41. Sri Vyasadeva delivered it to his son, who is the most respected among the self-realized after extracting the cream of all Vedic literatures and histories of the universe. Text 42. Sukadev Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, in his turn delivered the Bhagavatam to the great Emperor Parikshit, who sat surrounded by sages on the bank of the Ganges, awaiting death without taking food or drink. Text 43. This Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Puran. Text 44. O learned Brahmanas, when Sukadev Goswami recited Bhagavatam there in the presence of Emperor Parikshit, that is, I heard him with rapt attention, and thus by his mercy, I learned the Bhagavatam from that great and powerful sage. Now I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I learned it from him and as I have realized it.
Thank you very much. So I'll just take some time, a little more time to go through this, because this is a very important section of the third chapter. I humbly request all the devotees to read this section from verses 40 to 44, all the purports, because this tells us why we should read Bhagavatam. What is the importance of the Bhagavatam? The glory of Bhagavatam is fully described in these verses. So in verse 40, it's a famous verse again. You can make a note and I'll recite this. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Sammitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nihashreyasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swastyayanam Mahat. So this Bhagavatam is the incarnation of Krishna. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samvitam. It is an incarnation of Lord Sri Krishna. And what does it describe? It is not a fiction story. People just imagine and write some stories. Uttama Shloka Charitam. Charitam means history that had happened actually. It is not a fiction. And Uttama Shloka is Krishna. It described the pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna. And who compiled it? Chakara Bhagavan Rishi. It was compiled by Vyasadeva. He did not compile it simply to put it in eBay or Amazon just to make some money out of it. He has no other intention, just to, but his intention is, what is it? Nihashreyasaya lokasya. And he really wanted to do ultimate good for people. And what does it do, this Bhagavatam? Fully successful, dhanyam, swastyayanam, all blissful, all perfect. These are the qualities of Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada quoted this verse many times. And in this particular verse, the point is that it is a literary incarnation of Godhead, Sri Krishna. And it is meant for all good and all successful, all blissful, all perfect. And in 141, you can see that the Sanskrit says that this Vasudeva delivered it to his son, but when did he deliver? After extracting the cream of all the Vedic literature and histories of the universe. Actually, in Sanskrit, it is said saram, means he had collected, Vedas, and the Vedic literature is vast. If you want to get the essence, it's not that easy. So what did Vasudev do? So from Vedas and Puranas, he took the essence. And from that essence, he took the essence again. So essence of the essence, cream of all the cream. So after taking that essence, he gave it to his son, Shukadeva Goswami. And of course, Shukadeva Goswami narrated to Parikshit Maharaj, and that is a different story. So it is only by the will of the Lord, Shukadeva Goswami came to Parikshit Maharaj. Otherwise, he was just, moving incognito. How can he just come to that particular, event that is taking place there? It is only the will of the Lord. He came to there and delivered Bhagavatam and delivered Parikshit Maharaj. And verse 43 is the answer to the sixth question that sages asked. So the sixth question was that where did Dharma, the religion, took shelter after Krishna had left this planet? Because when Krishna was there, the religion was with him. But after Krishna had disappeared, where did the religion took the shelter? And so the answer is the religion took the shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is a verse that everybody should learn. I will just recite. Krishne swadamopagate dharma jnana bhisaha kalau nashta drushamesha puranarko adhunotitaha. Bhagavad Purana as brilliant as sun, Arka. Arka means sun. It has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion and knowledge. And persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. So this is the answer to the sixth question, that Dharma basically took shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Dharma and knowledge is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam, as we mentioned, a literary incarnate. Krishna disappeared and Bhagavatam appeared. So Krishna disappeared and then he appeared as Bhagavatam. Just remember this. So, and he is coming now in the form of Bhagavatam. So it is for us to, and for our acharyas. Sometimes when there is a medicine, we don't know what medicine to be taken and how to be taken, what dose and what form should be taken. There is a medicine book, there is a textbook available, but can we go and read and digest that? It is not possible. But for our acharyas, what they have done, they present it nicely. So they gave all the directions how we can take this medicine of Srimad Bhagavatam in our daily life. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. That is the summary of second chapter. Every day we serve Bhagavatam by reading it. And the last verse. Last verse, there is one important point that we can take here, that Sutta Goswami says that, I heard it. How did I heard? Rapt attention. When Shukadeva Goswami was narrating it to Parikshit Maharaj, I heard it with rapt attention. And by his mercy, I learned Bhagavatam. So now I will make you hear the same thing as I've realized it. Prabhupada writes various points, the qualifications for receiving this Srimad Bhagavatam. And Prabhupada points out that there are professional reciters, they make money out of it. They recite and then they take money from people. By that process, you will not be able to learn anything. I'm just saying what Prabhupada said in the purport of this shloka. So professional, by hearing from a professional reciter, we will not be able to gain anything. Actually, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami says very important thing in that connection. Snake. If milk is touched by a poisonous snake, that whole milk is contaminated. And he compares this professional recitation of Bhagavatam is, being poisoned by a snake like that. So there are various important points in this verse and previous verses, but I was unable to complete. But you can go and read them. So the simple thing is that hearing from the right source, and we got all our acharyas, and we can learn from them. So I will stop there, but before I stop, I just wanted to summarize. So this chapter, if you want to just put it in one sentence, that Krishna is the source of all incarnations, and Bhagavatam is non-different from him. This is the, in one sentence, if you want to summarize the third chapter, this is how I would like to summarize. So what I'm planning to do next week, we will review these 3 chapters. I think the plan is that after every 3 chapters, we will just review. And maybe devotees can share their thoughts, and maybe any questions, anything like that, we can go through. Unfortunately, we have to rush through these sessions, but I humbly request the devotees to kindly make some notes. Very important, and take some time to read these wonderful, beautiful purports and collect some gems from Srila Prabhupada. So I will stop it there, but next week, rather than moving on to the 4th chapter, we will just go through the 3 chapters and revise and move forward. So any comments or any questions, please do so. Once again, thank you very much for giving your valuable time.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Any
Thank you.
comments, any questions? Any questions,
you.
anybody else?
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Prabhuji.
Thank you very much.
Next time you're going to summarize these 3 verses. A good idea. It's a good revision there.
3 chapters we will just go through in a nutshell again, just quickly.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, it would be very good if everybody shares their realizations.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, unfortunately,
Apart from
this
questions,
doesn't,
when we do this revision next time, so it's quite good to have people share their important realization of what they're going through every day.
okay, devotees can definitely share, as I mentioned, that so in a group study that is possible. Yes, the devotees will get an opportunity after every 3 chapters, they can share their realizations. Absolutely no problem. That is the purpose of this group. Yeah, so unfortunately, with the time we have, we are unable to do more interactively than this. One thing I just wanted to share from my side is that, I heard Bhagavatam. I was mentioning to someone the other day that when I heard Bhagavatam some 20 years ago, whatever little I heard, I still remember. So when we hear with attention, then when we hear that there is it goes, and then we remember that portion forever. But again, there are so many senior devotees, and I'm happy to take their comments and their inputs as well. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Prabhu.